So as you all know, I recently did something pretty out there. I decided to buy a giant collection from my friend, the brick building biker. He was looking to downsize and he wanted to get rid of it all in one big chunk. So I was like, all right, let's do this. And I did it. We got a ton of parts. It's going to be great because we've got these parts. They're going to be, really good for the city. One thing I always wanted in my studio was a couch. And the reason I wanted a couch is because that offers us a place to put more parts. So that was good. But yeah, lots of good brick in there. And the bricks and all that are going to be essential for those mountains that I want to build. So that's excellent. But I decided to buy this collection partly to help him out and just like get it done. And then I also wanted it because I thought it would be interesting to have and just something different for this studio and the channel and all that. Am I having second thoughts about it? I'll be honest with you, I sort of am, just because I know how much work it's going to be. And I knew how much work it was going to be going into it, but now that it's all here, I'm like, oh man, you got to think that every single one of these things I've got to like sell individually, package up, ship out, and do all that. But it is what it is. I'm stuck with it now. I've got to try and deal with all this stuff, which is crazy. One thing I will say is that if you're like a Lego collector, what you should do, nothing against Kevin and the way that he collected Lego, but what you should do is you should do what I do. And that is like keep everything together. For example, all of my minifigures are always with their sets. They're never displaced. I always know the tan of minifigures are there. I always know the Slave 1 minifigures are out front. I always keep everything together, and even when I moved them, I put all of the minifigures in bags and I like resealed them, so I had a bag sealer and I sealed all the minifigures together. I didn't group them with the things because I know that these are the Kessel Run minifigures and these are the Millennium Falcon figures and the Dark Falcon, so I know that, but I sealed all of them just so when I unpackaged everything, all of the minifigures were still together. And I didn't always do this. This was a lesson that I learned a long time ago because I used to do what a lot of people do, and they create a giant minifigure display. They have all their minifigures on display and they have all of their sets on display, not with the minifigures. I used to do that. Like I had all the figures on like this really cool minifig wall. And then one day I was like, man, like now I've got all these minifigs on this minifig wall here, and I'm having trouble identifying which Darth Vader goes with this set and which Stormtrooper goes with this set because there's all these little minor variations between all of these hundreds of minifigures that they put out. So if you're going to collect Lego, I would always recommend that you keep your minifigures with the Lego set, like at all times, whether you're moving it, whether you're, displaying it. I would never recommend splitting it and having two different collections on display, like minifigures and sets. Always keep them together. Yeah, Kevin, always keep your minifigs together because now I've got like this big task of going through all the minifigs and trying to reallocate them to the set, which is all good. I knew that was going to be the thing. Like when I had a look at the collection, I knew that would be the thing. I didn't know this would be the thing. I'm sorry to give Kevin a shout out like that. That's not right. That's sort of mean, isn't it? I guess so. I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't mean that. But yeah, I got to get all this stuff packed up and brought home today. And another thing that I would do if you are considering getting into buying bulk collections, there's nothing wrong with buying bulk collections. Like I used to buy bulk collections all the time off like Facebook. And by bulk, I mean like unsorted Lego pieces. What I would do if you're in that circumstance, try and like break it down as best you can before you buy another big bulk collection, because the stuff can like pile up and become crazy. Like, I don't know what I did. Like I got all this here, which I'm pretty happy with, but like I still got all this other bulk that I need to break down. Mine is pretty manageable at this point, I guess. Like it's only it's only 2 bins literally, but then I've got like some more bins in my garage and stuff. And it's like, man, I gotta like sit here and sort all this stuff like crazy. But in the end, it's worth it because generally speaking, when you buy bulk, you get it for, you know, a decent price. But my recommendation would be to deal with the bulk lot that you bought and then get that all sorted and then consider buying more bulk after. For me, I guess it doesn't really matter because I've got a frickin' warehouse to store it in, so it's not really the end of the world. Like, we've got a ton of space and I can afford to, you know, allocate space to bulk pieces because I know eventually I'm going to need all of these pieces. For example, the 1x2s. When I was building the hundreds of mill sites for the Lego City, I kept running out of 1x2s and 2x2s, and I had to order 10,000 2x2s from Bricklink. So knowing that they're like in all of that bulk is, you know, a little bit of a peace of mind for me because I can just go fish out 500 2x2s whenever I need them. Yeah, so this is going to be a crazy month here of dealing with this. And I wanted to say too, like, my plan isn't to sit here and deal with this stuff for weeks on end. I'm always a fan of changing up my day and doing different things every day. So on the Bricksie YouTube channel, it's not like you're gonna get videos of me going through this stuff 15 days in a row. Like, sure, there might be 1 or 2 or 3 videos over the next month, maybe 4 videos over the next month of me going through this and going through the process of reallocating the minifigures and getting the sets all dusted and cleaned and prepping them and doing all that. But I'm also going to be like continuing to do my other things on the side. Well, not on the side. Primarily, I'm going to be doing the other things that I do on this channel. And then this is going to be on the side. Like, I'm still going to be building the city. I can't just like be like, okay, I've got to deal with this now. And that's all I can do for the next month is deal with this until it's all gone. I really don't care if 3/4 of this stuff just sits here for 6 months. I really don't care if it does that because I can't neglect the other parts of my studio, the parts that I truly love doing and truly love working on, which is the city. I can't neglect doing things like that. So don't worry, we're not going to be just sitting here dealing with this for 2-3 months on end. I'm going to be continuing to work on the city, primarily the countryside. Going to really start getting going over there, you know? So it's all good. Obviously today, on the day that I filmed this video, I couldn't work on the countryside because Kevin and I literally transported all that stuff over here, and then I moved it all the way over there, unboxed it all, made the video on that, and now I'm like, holy cow, what am I going to do tomorrow, which is actually Thanksgiving here in Canada, because today's Saturday, tomorrow is actually Sunday, so it's going to be an exciting little Sunday. Going to finish my garage project because I was so disappointed when I got into my vehicle this morning. I was making my way to Kevin's house, and I was like, okay, let's go. I came outside, and there was like 1/10 of an inch or a centimeter, not a centimeter, but a bunch of frost on my window. And I was like, oh man, are you kidding me? That was the first frost. It's like, no, okay, I need to get the garage project done so that I can, you know, park in the garage. That is essential. I started working on the gravel road just the other day. I sort of like this angle that we've got going on here, and then it's gonna branch and turn. And I want to continue working on that. And I'm happy that I was able to sort out some of that bulk with my mom, with Bricksie's mom, because we found a bunch of 1x2s. I was using all these blue 1x2s, and I'm not too happy about that. So I can shift gears now and use the yellow and the black and the white ones that I found, and then we can start to grow all these mill splits. So I think sorting that bulk was actually essential for me to continue because I was literally out of 1x2s. When you see me using trans blue 1x2s, you know that that is a no-no. I don't want to be doing that. So I'm glad that we spent a day sorting because now I can actually continue raising this up. Because when you convert into 4x4 plates, because the 16x16s don't fit, it uses a ton of 1x2s, especially when you're doing stacks of 4. And I'm going to be going up to 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to consume a lot of them. So I'm glad in that collection there was a ton of them because now I don't need to order them off Bricklink. So definitely a positive. There were some comments saying, what about this creek? I'm really confused about this creek. Which way is the creek flowing? The creek is flowing down and this way, and then it's going to loop this way. Uh-oh, it's going to start going uphill and connect to water over there. I'm sort of confused. I think I forgot to mention that, yes, the creek is flowing down. It is flowing this way. But what's going to happen is there's going to be another creek that's coming down through the countryside or through the campground right there. It is going to connect to this creek, and then it is eventually going to flow probably this way, and then it's going to flow off the table. So technically there's going to be water coming down from there, there's water coming down from there, those creeks merge and off the table, if that makes sense. Oh, I was also thinking here, there's a bunch of green brick. What I could start doing actually is throwing like brackets in or snot bricks in, and we could start doing some like vegetation and stuff off the side. However, I did that before, and the problem is you like bump into it, you're like boom, and you start bumping this vegetation off the side of it, so I'm not sure if I want to do that. So tomorrow's Sunday, which is like a family day for me. It's Thanksgiving in Canada. But then on Monday, I think Mrs. Bricksie's coming here on Monday. I think we have the babysitter situation on Monday, which is good, because Mrs. Bricksie's probably going to go hard on the reallocation of the minifigures to those sets and start packaging them and listing them and stuff on Bricklink, so she can do all that while I continue on the countryside. So I'll get a full day in on the countryside, which will be good. That'll be excellent. So Monday is the day that it's going to go down here. And I only got like a half day in, but I still managed to get from there all the way to here in a half day. So that wasn't too bad. I should be able to hopefully get way over there, which would be pretty cool. Yeah, that'll be good. And I'm excited about this, you know? It's cool. It's, I've been reading some comments that say, they say that my channel has turned into 15% Lego building. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I don't think it has, because when I go back and I look at all the videos that have come out over the last month, okay, I was in Billund for a week, and there's some prep for that. But then, you know, I millisplated the whole countryside, and I millisplated the amusement park. We inserted all the raised platforms, base plated all the platforms, built the skeleton structures for the mountains. We built the gravel roads there. And then I had like, whatever, it was 3 or 4 Billund videos that I had like on the back burner, and I uploaded those. And I still have 3 other Billund videos that I decided not to follow through with. Like, I have the footage for them, but I decided not to follow through with it because I felt, you know, I want to get going on the city, and it's like, I understand that. Like I'm just gonna not upload these Billund videos. Then we're gonna change into, you know, millisplating and putting in the platforms and stuff like that, because I don't know, because I sort of feel the same way, right? But also, one thing we have to remember too is the fact that I used to have Simon here 2 days a week. And Simon was dedicated just to building the Lego city. That's all he did. And he was here for 13 hours a week. So when I have somebody here for 13 hours a week, and their primary goal is just to build things, build repetitious things, we could get a lot done in that time, because it's essentially like 2 more days of building. So ever since he left, because he's back in school, because he's like a biomedical engineer, he's taking biomedical engineering, and it's a full-time thing for him. Ever since he was gone, unfortunately, I lose that 13 hours a week of labor that was solely dedicated to building the city. And also, you gotta remember that back in the day, like pre-children being born, I had Mrs. Bricksie that was helping me out like 40 or 50 hours a week. Like some comments say, oh, I miss the good old days when you used to do more in a day. And it's like, you got to remember that one the good old days, Mrs. Bricksie was here full time on the team. So I'd be sitting downstairs building, build, or she'd be down there building with me. And at the end of the day, I would give her the memory card. I'd say, here you go start editing. And she'd go upstairs and she'd edit while I would continue building. So I was able to do a lot more building because I had Mrs. Bricksie with me 40 hours a week, 40 or 50 hours a week. And now I don't. I have her like 6 hours a week, maybe, right? So I've lost an entire employee. And no, I don't really want to go out and hire somebody random. I'll be honest with you, when I hired Simon, I struck gold. Like he was just like the definition of the perfect person for this place. Very passionate about Lego, a very like smart individual, very trustworthy. You know, like I was just perfect. He was just perfect. He was like the exact person that I wanted for the job. Like I praise him a lot. And I don't think if I hire somebody else, I don't think I'll find somebody as good as him. You know? So he understood Lego. I could just be like, okay, I need you to see this road. This is how you build this straight road. I need you to build, or I need you to help me build them. Let's crush out 30 of them and be like, okay, let's do it. And we just sit there and we build 30 roads together. And, you know, it would be easy. You'd understand it. Like, so I don't think I'll be able to find somebody as good as that again, you know? And I guess you never know unless you start looking. But the reality is my goal is to get Mrs. Bricksie back because she was the exact same way. She was just like the perfect helper because we were just a squad. We're a team. And she knew how to do everything. She knew how to edit. She knew how to ship. She knew how to build, sort. She knows how to do everything that I do, right? So to have her back would just be excellent. So we were talking about daycare. Again, I brought it up with her and I was like, you know what? I think it's time for us to bite the bullet because there's different options for different daycares and there is another one that probably has availability for us, but it's like sort of like a, you know, it's not like the top end daycare. It's one that doesn't have any wait times, which sort of says something. It's like, okay, well, this daycare doesn't have any wait times. How good could it possibly be? But it's like, okay, our kids are getting older. The longer we wait, the harder it's going to be for us to get them into daycare. The harder it is for them to adjust to being in daycare and adjust to being in the presence of other caregivers. So we need to get them in there ASAP so that they start learning how to interact with other adults. Otherwise, they're going to be going into preschool or kindergarten with no experience of that. It's not going to be good. So we need to get them in there to get them socializing and also get them to, learning from other people as well. Like caregivers, professional caregivers are going to teach them different things than what we teach them because it's their job. They know what they're doing and it's their profession. So we need to get them in for multiple reasons. And once we get them in, we're going to put them in 3 days a week. And my mom's going to look after the kids 1 day a week. So I told Jose, well, what we should do then is you should come to the studio with me 3 days a week. We'll work together. We'll get a lot more done in a day. And then what I can do is take a day off with you on that 4th day, and we can go do cool stuff. We can go to midday movies like we used to. Or we can go out for lunch like we used to. We can go grocery shopping, you know, so it's easier for everybody and our kids are learning more and learning from different people. So that I think is imperative. Like that is the next step, is getting our kids in daycare so that we can get more done here and we can have a free day to ourselves. Because at this point, We don't have any time to ourselves. The only time that we have to ourselves is from 7 o'clock when they go to sleep, but then we have to do about, I'd say, half an hour of cleaning up after them, doing the dishes, doing all that stuff. That brings us to 7:30. Then we finally eat dinner. That brings us to 8 o'clock. So then 8 to 10 at night, and then we're gassed. And then it's like it's like, do we really feel like doing laundry right now? No, I don't. I don't feel like doing that when it's 8 o'clock. I don't feel like doing laundry at 8 o'clock. So we need to get them in daycare just for our own mental health, and also just like for productivity in general. And once that goes down, then we'll sort of be more normalized in life, and we'll also sort of get back on track here as well. So that's like some of the realities of it. I mean, I know I sometimes take the comment section too seriously, but I am trying, and I want to work on this city, and I want to do everything as quickly as possible, like the comments want me to do, but I think I get a lot done. And I think, even in the city, I think I do get a lot done. I think I get lots done. I'm happy with it. I'm satisfied with the rate that I'm able to do things. In general, I've got a warm, fuzzy feeling about everything that I do in life, and that's all that really matters in the end. And I would say that to anybody too. As long as you're happy, then what's the big deal, right? As long as you're happy doing what you're doing every day, then whatever. You know what I mean? It is all good. Look at that. I just cleaned up all these totes while having this in-depth conversation with you about life. Multitasking. Look at that. That's awesome. Look at all those totes. It's a lot of bins. Beautiful. Now when Kevin comes here on Monday, I think he's coming on as well, we're going to have all that stuff that we can give back to him because he wants all his bins back. And they're out of the way. Now I just got to deal with all this Lego. There we go. Little talk with you there. I hope you enjoyed it. Random, I can't even remember what I said, to be quite honest with you, but it is what it is. Here's some cool Lego, and I feel like that was a really successful little Saturday, everybody. I literally did all that in one day, hauled all this stuff over here, unboxed it all, did a bunch of sorting, made a pretty cool video about it all, and wrapped up my day with you here. Hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more behind-the-scenes talk here on Bricksie Talks. Farewell.